Hello there. Welcome back to Economics at Grade 10. In this video, we want to look at the question paper of November 2023. And this is for paper one that we want to look at. And we're going to look at the first question on that question paper. That is question one. We're going to start on the multiple choice section. So please, let's not forget to subscribe and share. Let's share the link to our colleagues who are doing a Grade 10 Economics. So going back to our question, we have a multiple choice section that we're going to start with. And the question is, various options are provided as possible answers to the following questions. I choose the answer and write only the letter A to 1.1.8 in the answer book. So you're given the way that you are going to present your answer in the answer book. So the first part, 1.1.1, is which of the following topics is the study, and that is based from the world economy point of view. So which is opposed to micro economics. Micro will be looking at from an individual market point of view, can be an individual industry or an individual firm point of view. So in terms of macroeconomics, we are going to look at an element that is uh, inclusive of the whole economy. So if you look at the first, we have got macroeconomic is out, changes in supply of goods is out, and the cost and revenue of a firm. We are seeing this is a firm point of view, so it's out also. But the business cycles, you know, that are they include the whole economy. Remember, business cycles these are just recurring patterns of economic activity that we have in the country, covering the economic activities of the whole country. And then we can also try to explain it as fluctuations that impact many factors. It might be impacting income levels, impacting GDP, or even impacting productivity. So business cycle is the correct answer that we have used today. Moving on to the next question, 1.1.2. When there is not enough of a resource to satisfy existing demand for it, and dash exists, we have got absolute. So I would say that according to responses that we have, the correct answer that we have there is absolute scarcity. Absolute scarcity basically is a condition where a resource is limited in supply. And when we start a condition to say we got absolute scarcity. So this is exactly what we have in the explanation, that there is not enough of a resource to satisfy existing demand. So absolute scarcity. So we go to the next question, which is 1.1.3. Which of the following could most likely cause an increase in national income in the circular flow? So increase in national income, we are saying we are having money being introduced in the circular flow, in the economic activities in the economy. So this is the factor that we are going to look at according to the response that we are giving. We have got increase in taxation. Taxation actually is a withdrawal, which is opposite, which is out. And then we've got the increase in public spending. Public spending is the public is spending. It means the income is going to get into the economy and it gets into the circular flow, which is correct. And then a decrease in disposable income for households. Obviously, when there's a decrease in income, it means they're going to spend less, and the injections in the circular flow will also going to reduce, which is not correct. An increase in import expenditure. When we are importing, it means we are also taking the income from the local economy or local circular flow, and it's going out of the country. So it's out. So we are left with an increase in public spending. So we have our correct answer is B. Then moving on to the next one, 1.1.4. A Keynesian explanation for economic fluctuations may include we have invention of the internet, variations in inventory levels, the war in Ukraine, and weather conditions. So according to the response that we have, we've got B is the correct response that we have there. Variations in inventory levels. So this is what we have in terms of 1.1.4. Then go on to the next question, which is 1.1.5. The natural growth rate of a population is determined by the dash. The natural growth rate of a population is determined by the dash. We have got the number of migrants. Migrants are we are talking about that number of migrants. Then B, we have got number of refugees. C, we have got birth rate and mortality rate. D, we have got life expectancy of the population. So basically, if you look at the birth rate, it actually determines the growth rate. We have got high birth rate, it means also it's going to have a direct effect on the growth rate. And then also mortality rate, if it increases, it means that the growth rate is going to decrease. As we are saying, there are going to be more deaths, so it's a reduction. So it's they have a direct effect on the natural growth rate. So you would see 5 correct response that we have there is C. So we can indicate our C. Then I'm moving on to the next question, which is 1.1.6. We try to see. This is the question that we have. Right, the question reads, which of the following indicates a static phase of the demographic cycle? So remember, the static phase, we are saying this is a stationary phase. But the characteristics of this static phase is that there is low birth and death rates. There is also high quality of life. And also it's characterized by a rectangular population pyramid. So those are some of the characteristics that include the static phase. So according to the responses that we have there, we have what the growth is steadily increasing. Children are seen as an economic liabilities, and then birth and death rates are very high. Mechanization and urbanization is increasing. So if you look at the responses that we have there, we see that mechanization and urbanization is increasing is correct. Remember, on the characteristics of the static phase, we said there's high quality of life. So obviously, high quality of life is being associated by the mechanization and urbanization. So exactly this matches. So we have a D as the correct response that we have there. Right. And then we have got 1.1.7. People entering a country on a permanent basis are known as, then we've got immigrants, voluntary migrants, involuntary migrants. So we see that when people are entering a country, we describe it as immigrant. We describe it as immigrant, and the immigrant that we have starts with an I, which is this one. So it makes B our correct answer. Then immigrant becomes opposite when people are going out of the country. Then it becomes our immigrant. So this is what we have. Then go to 1.1.8. Measures taken to put pressure on the nation to do away with unacceptable policies. We appreciate Emma's actions. Remember, on the explanation, that we have sanctions. A sanction basically is an action that is taken or an order that is given to force a country to obey a certain international laws. So this can be done by limiting or stopping trade with that country. For example, they might use an instrument of not allowing aid to that country, so that they force that country to abide by what they want. So we have got sanctions. Here's the correct response that we have there. Then we go to 1.2. 1.2 is now on the matching weight. So we've got to choose a description from column B that matches an item in column A. Right, only the letter I next to question numbers. That is 1.2.1 to 1.2.8 in answer book. So I give it on the way that you are supposed to present in the answer book. Then column A, the first term that we have there is resources. Resources. So we go to the second column, which is column B, to see if any explanation that's matching resources. But we know that resources includes all materials available in our environment, which are technologically accessible. So these are resources that are, these are materials that we are saying are available in our environment, should be technologically accessible, and also they should be economically feasible. And we'll see that we can also consider them to be culturally sustainable, and they assist us satisfy our needs and wants. So basically, that's the explanation on the resources. So the matching that we have there, explanation that we have in column B, I will try to see which one two matches that. So we got our responses there. We can just try to see in terms of which one and we think matches. So if you go to see land, capital, labor, and entrepreneurship, sums up all the categories of resources that we have. So we've got C as the correct response. So we have got C here. But the second part, 1.2.2, we've got capital goods. But we know that capital goods, these goods are physical assets a company uses to produce goods and services. So that's the basic explanation. And these goods and services that will be produced are for consumers. And the example of capital assets, we've got non-current assets, or we can call them fixed assets, like buildings, machinery, vehicles, and many others. So these are the examples that we have in terms of fixed assets. So according to the responses that we have, we can just try to see what matches capital goods. If you go to E, you see that these are goods used in the production, of other goods and services. So E becomes the correct one. Remember, we're talking about an example of machinery equipment is part of capital goods. E. Then 1.2.3 injections. Injections, it's additional income that is being directed into the circular flow. That's basically injections. I think we have tried to define that one. But we can also try to define it as the introduction of income into the economy. Generally, that's just an injection. So according to the explanations that we have there, let's just try to see. We have got A, which is say money entering money entering the circular flow. The trough. Remember, we have got our business cycle, which goes up and down, and the trough is indicated by the lowest point of the business cycle. Like here, we are saying this is the trough. So we try to see what explanation we have there, which mentions the trough. Go down looking for that explanation. We have got G, which is saying the lowest point of a business cycle. G. So we have got G here as the correct response. Moving on to the next, we've got nomadic, but nomadic is generally a word that is used to describe a movement from one point to the other, not having a fixed abode, nomadic. So we go to the second column and try to see what we have. We have got B, people who move from one place to place for food, water, and pasta. So then we've got economic policy. Let's try to understand economic policy. Let's try to understand economic policy. So we go to column B and try to see what description we have which makes economic policy. But we know that an economic policy is a set of actions and strategies that a government uses to manage and influence the economy. So the actions and strategies that are used by the government to influence the activities in the economy is what we call economic policy. So going to our second column, I would see that now if you go to government actions to influence economic imperialism, but we know imperialism as a policy of extending a country's power and influence through colonization. So the element or the issue behind imperialism is the extension of a country's power and influence, obviously, over another country, and through colonization or use of military force, or it might be any measure that is being used there. So imperialism, the explanation that is matching imperialism, you go to our column B. If you go to D, is saying a practice of extending a country. So you've got D here as the correct response. Then we go to unemployment, but obviously unemployment, we're looking at the number of people that are willing and are able to work, or the employable that are not going to work. That's exactly how we can best we can define unemployment. So going to the explanation that we have in column B, let's try to see which one do matches that. We've got circumstances in which members of the labor force are without work. So it's F. So we've got F here as the correct response. So this is what we have on this section. Obviously, we try to move to the last section, which is this one. To give one term for each of the following descriptions, right? Only the term next to the question numbers, 1.3.1 up to 1.3.6 in the answer book. Abbreviations, acronyms, and examples will not be accepted. So 1.3.1 reads the assumption, and the assumption that means all other things are being equal. Remember when you say holding all other factors constant, that is all other things are being equal, we call it ceteris paribus. So we go there and indicate it as such. So we are saying this is our number 1.3.1. So we can just indicate as such. So we're saying 1.3 use is ceteris paribus. Then move on to the next part, is 1.3.2, which is saying the value of the best foregone alternative, the cost of it is also the cost of the best alternative foregone. We call it our opportunity cost. So we've got opportunity cost. Opportunity cost just describes that we have the two options. We have got option A and B. So you choose option A. So the value of option B becomes the opportunity cost. The one that we did not choose, the one that we've got foregone. So this is opportunity cost. We'll go to the next one. An economy that excludes the foreign sector. Obviously, we know that it's a closed economy, but when we are including the foreign sector, it's called an open economy. So 1.3.3, we have got closed economy. And 1.3 point of markets and production. So this actually defines the interaction that is there with worldwide markets. And by production, we are saying even we are seeing accessibility of those goods and services of the foreign markets. So basically, this is described as globalization. Remember globalization. So we've got here globalization. And we go to the 1.3.5. Is an organization of workers who combine to achieve common goals such as a better working condition. We know that this is a labor union. Remember, a labor union is an organization formed by workers to negotiate for better pay, for example, and also safe working conditions, and other better benefits that might be negotiated then. So this is a labor union. We have 1.3.5, and we are saying labor union. And go to 1.3.6. So 1.3.6, this comes the last part of our question, which is saying the proportion of the economical active population that finds employment in the formal sector of the economy. So economic active population are the ones that are actually employed, and we know, and the term that we use to describe that is the labor force participation. Labor force participation. So here we are saying labor force participation. So this is what we have, guys, according to this video. Hopefully this video was helpful. Let's not forget to subscribe and share. Let's turn off the notification button so that when we upload the new videos, we get notified. No, more typical examination questions are going to be uploaded on this channel. Let's stay tuned. As for this video, I'm signing out. Let's meet again in the next video.